Newspapers, they're going to have a monitor.
So mad, we went to the Sabres. Detroit game.
time of night, everybody. I want to welcome everybody just to be a part of this year. It's always an honor to meet everybody's families. We, of course, have the Martinez family here. We have the Bruce family, along with Coach Sandberg, who's joined us at the table, and of course, the Hardy family over there as well. I tell you what, this year I look back and I see, and you could see all the winners from the past 4 years. This is the 5th year we've been doing this. It seems like it was just yesterday. And that group's actually graduating this year from college, which is kind of exciting. I can't wait to see where they all, where they're all at, where they're all, headed to in life, which is wonderful. But what I do know is everybody you see, just incredible students in the classroom, pillars in their community, and just great students and athletes. And that's what we have here tonight. It's always mixed emotions for me. I do this because my son passed away almost 5 years ago in a tragic accident, and he loved soccer. So what better way to honor him than to start this foundation that I know he's proud of. But as I start going over the applications and seeing what everybody's done, it warms my heart. It does. It makes me realize that, the future of this country is in the hands of some great young student athletes. So it keeps bringing us back every year. And even as you go through in years, drop a line, send me an email, let me know how you're doing, so I can share those stories with everybody. Ethan's dad teaches at Leon, so I always get updates on what's going on there and stuff. And it's always good to hear because I believe he's actually getting married, or he's engaged to be married and graduating and moving on to grad school. I love those stories, so please pass them along when you can. But we're here to give away scholarships tonight, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to just introduce everybody and go over, each one of our finalists. I don't want to say bios, but just their accomplishments, because that's what I'm really reading is accomplishments. And I almost feel like I know all of you at this point. So it's exciting. And then once I go over it all, then we'll tell everybody what they've won, okay? I'm going to start right over here with Citlali Martinez from Florida High. It seems like Coach Sachs here, Victoria, I got to tell you, and I don't want to put her on the spot, but I want to thank her. Every year we raise money for this by holding the Geo Cup, which, most of you have seen and played in and been a part of. Without that, we couldn't keep doing this every year. And Victoria this year was such an instrumental part of it, just really big in getting us to Florida High and helping in every aspect possible. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you for that. It's not just the foundation, it's everybody around the foundation that's helping out, and Victoria was a big part of that. So thank you for that. But she also brought in an athlete this year, right? Let's talk about Citlali. A 3.7 unweighted GPA, a 4.0 GPA, a 1250 SAT score. Obviously, very strong in the classroom. I look at this because I could never do this. Completed over 20 AP dual enrollment honor courses at Florida High, including AP US History, several English, biology, chemistry honors classes. The list goes on and on and on. Even had a first place science fair finish, which that caught me a little off guard, which is kind of cool. But let's let's talk about what she put in her application about her proudest academic achievement. And this is what she had to say. Qualifying for dual enrollment is one of my proudest academic achievements. The education provided at my first school, which I attended from PK to 10th grade, was very limited. The last time I had a stable full-time teacher was in 5th grade. Since then, I had to learn everything on my own and was constantly misinformed by the school. Once I learned the importance of passing the PERT, which is the post-secondary education readiness test, I made it my goal to be dual enrolled and studied to learn everything I wasn't taught, which most students don't do nowadays. Passing this made me very proud because after a year, I qualified to take college level courses and managed to learn everything I had missed in the previous 5 years. Taking the initiative. What a great job as a student. Athletically, let's move on to that. Sitlali is strictly a soccer player through and through. We love to hear that, right? I know Coach likes to hear that. She played for Florida High and also for the Bold and Gold Sports International program. She'd tell you her proudest moment was winning the MVP of the team during her 10th year on the JV squad, her 10th grade year. And that's a great achievement. I know it is. However, she didn't win MVP by being the top goal scorer or that player that, dominates games, that everybody's got their eyeballs on. In fact, she was not always a starter, but what she was always a part of the 13 that were out there. She was a part of every game that that Florida High was involved with. This is what Coach Sachs had to say about her on the field. I can't imagine. I see this come out of your mouth, and she is there no matter what the situation. She embraces all roles. Sitlali is aggressive, and she is known as, you want to say it?
What did I say?
The silent killer.
Oh, she is the silent killer. She tells everybody, like, what? Who just took it out there? It's Sitlali. She just took her out from behind. She's gone.
Is that true?
It's 100% true. Is it up? Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. Coach, I swear, I had the extra step. No, you didn't.
So there she backs up. Love that. When she tackled you, the opposing player knew it. Relied on her smarts, played simple soccer, 2 + 2 = 4. Played wherever you needed her. Sometimes she'd start, sometimes she'd come off the bench, sometimes she'd close. Quiet leader, but leads by example. She won't tell you anything, she'll show you. That's awesome. Sitlali had this to say about her high school career on the pitch. Soccer taught me many life lessons, which is one of the reasons why I love it so much. The most memorable message I have learned from this sport has been to trust in myself and my abilities. Soccer is unpredictable. Anything can happen at any time, and you will always be forced into making a decision. To this day, no one has made the right choice in every single scenario. Even the most experienced players make mistakes and they are caught up in the game. All you can do is have trust. And that trust really, and that soccer lesson Sitlali just shared with us, really has become a life lesson for her as well. Her family has been faced with a recent hardship, which has required everyone to have trust, and to be able to step up, including Sitlali. She has a family of 6, and finds herself in a position of really having to play all the roles, helping be a mom one day if she has to be, being a student during the day, being that athlete at night, even playing the role of, a mom here and there and dad and whatever you got to do to make the day work in the family. That's what she's had to do. She said this in her essay. We require all students, when they apply, to submit an essay. And this was part of Sitlali's essay. As the second oldest child, I'm responsible for helping my mom and older sister deal with our situation, as well as take care of my younger siblings. The day it happened, I immediately started thinking of how I was going to deal with school, soccer, and problems at home. Eventually, I would overcome this obstacle. I've continued to show up to practices and games and have stayed on track with my schoolwork. With all those responsibilities, there's no time or space for me to doubt myself. I know I must be strong for my family, and by trusting that I have the abilities to help them out, I have become a more reliable person for them. I plan on using this experience my whole life. While everything else in the world may be changing or in constant movement, the only thing we have is ourselves. Trusting myself will not only improve my confidence, but it will also help test my judgment in different scenarios in life. It helps define the type of person that I am and reflects my values and things that are important to me. With this trust, I would also overcome the fear of making mistakes and embrace any imperfections, leading to future growth and improvement. Very wise. Decision-making would come easier to me, and I would be open to becoming a new person. Sounds like she's already becoming a new person and starting to grow through this experience. Quite a remarkable story. Let's give it up for Citlali Martinez, one of our finalists. Okay, where do we go next? Let's go to Sam. You do like to be called Sam, right? Because, you know, you see Samuel on there, and I'm like, okay, we put it on the trophy. I should have called you Ashley, but it sounds better, right? Well, let's talk about Sam. Sam Bruce in the classroom. A perfect 4.0 unweighted GPA, which is amazing. 4.48 weighted GPA. Sam ranked 6th out of 352 students at Wakulla High School. His 35 ACT score puts him in the 99th percentile nationwide, which is pretty impressive. Congratulations on that. Sam was a 2025 Sunshine State Scholar, and he had this to say about that award. He said, "This honor was presented to me for being one of the top STEM students in Wakulla County. It gave me a chance to represent my county in a challenging academic environment that gave me connections to different college and career decisions." He already has his, correct me if I'm wrong, your CNA certification, certified nursing assistant, correct? And will be certified in phlebotomy at the end of the semester. Do you already have that? Almost there, right? There you go. Very impressive. His teacher and one of your references, Christy Lawhan at Wakulla High School, had this to say about Sam. "He is honestly one of the brightest kids I have ever taught. Literally, I could go over it one time and Sam would be able to repeat everything I said. In my anatomy and physiology class, Sam demonstrated an extraordinary ability to grasp and retain complex information, often able to repeat everything after a single explanation, while his peers would struggle with the same information." So he gets it done in the classroom. We know that. On the pitch, an all Big Ben selection at midfield. You were team MVP at Wakulla High School during your time there. This senior year, 14 goals, 32 points, 44 steals, helped lead Wakulla to a very good year. 15-7-2, a 4 straight playoff wins, I believe, a little run in the playoffs before finally losing to Fort Walton. And Coach Sandberg, who's here, Mark Sandberg, who was the personal coaching reference for Sam. This is what Coach Sandberg had to say. "I would stand on a mountain for Samuel. He is dynamic, a kid with grit and grind to shut down the opposition and still do it on the offensive end." He had a lot more to say about you, but we had to edit and do all that sort of stuff. Sam is a 2-sport athlete. Well, I take that back. He was a 2-sport athlete. Now he's kind of a 3-sport athlete. Let me explain. Typically, Sam would play baseball, fall ball, and then replay baseball back in the spring, and wedged in between would be soccer. But this past season, the kicker got hurt on the football team. So somebody decided to cut fall ball a little short and join the football team, where he was a kicker for the football team this year. Selfless to be able to do that. Here's what he did. Played in 6 games this year. Hit 17 and 19 extra points. Had 2 field goals, including a 42-yarder, correct? Is that the long? No 50-yarders in there? No? But nonetheless, Coach Sandberg had this to say about you and all that. He selflessly went to the football team and didn't complain as it set him back in baseball and soccer. What he did is he put the school first, which is important. What about off the field? Sam volunteers at Lake Ellen Baptist Church. He works baseball camps at River Springs Middle School. He's worked as a server and a busboy for 5 years at Senyard, right? Seafood restaurant. Did I pronounce that right? Yes, yeah. Once in a while. Just to be 5 years, think about that. 5 years at a job in high school is pretty remarkable. Most high school students go from job to job to job. So, when Coach talks about commitment, to be 5 years at one place in high school is a commitment. Awesome job. You're the youngest of 4 siblings who have all remained local. But that's not necessarily what you want. You are now headed off to college. You made a choice yesterday. Tell everybody where you're going. New College of Florida, baseball, correct? They have a soccer program there. They're going to steal you for soccer too? Not sure about that. Well, we'll find out. We'll see what goes on there. But you kind of expressed an interest of maybe moving out of the Tallahassee area and exploring things. And this is what your teaching reference, Ms. Christy Lawhon, had to say. She said this: I felt like Sam needs to think beyond Wakulla and see what the world is like. Move beyond where his family has always lived and see things for himself. Given the opportunity, I think that would be a huge blessing for him. And like I said, he's now committed to New College of Florida. Anybody here know what their nickname is? I didn't think. You know what their nickname is? The Mighty Banyans, right. And their mascot is, Banyan's a tree, which most of you probably know. Their mascot's name is Rudy. R-O-O-T-Y, by the way. So, but ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sam Bruce, one of our finalists this year for the Giovanni Vitrano Foundation. All right, now we're going. Oh, we got one left. Matthias Party from JP2 High School. A 3.63 unweighted GPA in the classroom. Again, one of these students that has, like all of you, a ton of AP classes, dual enrollment, honor courses. Again, I think you were 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there, which is pretty remarkable for your time at high school. A member of the National Society of High School Scholars, the Mathematical National Honor Society, the Rho Kappa Social Studies National Honor Society. You're also granted membership in the National Spanish Honor Society. I didn't want to try to say the Spanish version. You want to say what that is for everybody? Come on, you put it on your application. Very good. Yeah, you're good. I wasn't going to say that. But I mentioned the National Spanish Honor Society last because you are a native of Venezuela, and Matthias had a language barrier to battle through when he was in high school. You know, you got to try to pick up a new language and speak how we speak. Jennifer Freeman, which was his teaching reference at JP2, your English teacher, I believe, had this to say about you. He demonstrated remarkable academic drive, transitioning from a regular 10th grade English class, where English was not his first language, to successfully passing the AP language exam in the 11th grade, which is remarkable. She shared that despite not having been initially placed in honors classes, Matthias actively sought feedback to improve his essays and eventually earned the respect of his academic peers, sitting with top students and engaging in discussions about the important things, college applications, test scores, and all that other stuff. But he put the effort in to break that barrier to be able to communicate with those that are going where he wants to go as well, which was pretty amazing. So shows, as she put it, this showed your commitment to growth and, well, quiet leadership by example. Athletically, you're a soccer player. He's a soccer player through and through. He would tell you, based from what I know from your application, well, you said this specifically, one of your prouder achievements was being ranked 286 nationally for goals scored, being a part of the Big Bend All-Star soccer teams, or even he ranked 15th in the nation a few years ago among freshmen for goal scoring in the country, which is pretty impressive as well. So we know he gets it done on the soccer field. Your coach, Eddie Foy, who couldn't be here tonight, used 2 words to describe Matthias. He said character and maturity. That's how I would describe Matthias. He said when he comes to practice, he shakes the hand of every coach. And at the end of practice, he does the same thing. He understands the team is bigger than himself, and he is a role model in maturity around the other players. This is probably the biggest compliment. He says, we don't lose when he's there. When he's injured or not in the lineup, the connection between all the players goes away. He went on to say, Matthias is the best player I have ever coached, either here or in England, where he's been a coach for over 19 years. He talked about one game in particular. He said the second game of the season on the road against the number 2 team, trailing 2-0, playing on turf, very hot. Everything that was, going against us was happening that day. Said at the water break, Matthias took control. He got the team together, talked to them all, changed the formation, showed his teammates how they were going to create space on the field so he could try to help win a game, and he did. Scored a hat trick and brought him back to win 5-2. But it's that leadership of acting like a dad, as Coach put it, that got them through that game. So certainly maturity. God, what about off the pitch? Matthias holds down a couple of jobs to get by. You're a member of the Men of Virtue Catholic Brotherhood, and you get involved in a bunch of different things throughout the community. But to really describe Matthias, when I did this last year and I want to do it again, his essay is what really caught me. And I think when we all, as members of the foundation, went over stuff, the essay sucked us all in because it really told us who you were and what you were about. This is what Matthias wrote in his essay. I owe everything to soccer, or football, as I was raised to call it. I've been dribbling a ball since I was 3. I grew up in Venezuela until my parents felt the country was becoming too unsafe to stay. We were among the fortunate few who escaped before things got even worse. At age 9, I remember the lack of food, gas, and an overall feeling of insecurity. The distinction between economic classes was very clear. There were those with golden faucets and those who were starving, citizens of the same country yet living like they were from different planets. But on match days, things were different. When the Venezuelan national team took the pitch chasing their dreams, the entire country sang and cheered together. Though the Venezuelans never stood a chance against Argentina or Brazil as a nation, we loved our team as underdogs, as if they were World Cup champions. Soccer was proof that Venezuela, though split ideologically, was still united as one. Soccer helped take our minds off our problems and our living conditions. I was 9 when my family moved to Tallahassee to escape the communist regime. My dad had to leave his agricultural engineering career. In the bodegas he had owned, he had to leave them behind. I started attending Trinity Catholic School without knowing anyone. Those first few days, I just stared at the floor, painfully shy. Even if I would have anything to say, I wouldn't have known how to say it because I didn't speak any English. But I did speak soccer. It was through soccer that I made new friends who helped me learn English so well that now you would never know it was my second language. When the kids on the playground saw me handling the soccer ball, it got their attention. Immediately, they worked on finding other ways to communicate with me about soccer and trying to teach me English words. Between body language and my classmates' patience, I began to pick up English enough for them to understand what I was trying to say. Soccer became my universal language. It didn't require words. You speak through your actions on the field. Through soccer, I made new friends and found new opportunities, and I found new experiences. Seeing others look up to me on the field helped me grow into a leader. And that confidence carried into other areas of my life at school and in my everyday interactions with people. The sport that gave me so much has also inspired me to spread that gift to others. Early in high school, I started an organization that collected soccer equipment from all around Tallahassee to distribute to kids in Venezuela. who were living in even worse conditions than I had left behind. In the past 3 years, I have distributed more than 25 boxes to kids who are in need in Merida, Venezuela. Reaching out to people in the beginning was hard, but I have now gained the trust of multiple people in schools that constantly donate gently used or new sporting equipment. Around a year and a half ago, I flew back to Venezuela and personally delivered much of the equipment to these children. And seeing the smiles on their faces helped me understand that this is more important than people think. Soccer gave me words when I didn't have any and inspired me to think beyond words and turn thoughts into gestures. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matthias Party, one of our other finalists. Truly inspiring, by the way. I'll tell you what, it's always great to read everybody's stories, and as you can tell, everybody's got their own little inspirational story. It's so hard to pick winners for this, it really is. Everybody is just so outstanding, but just know that the three of you are the best of the best. You know, you're the ones who finally got here. So without further ado, we're going to announce what our winners are. We're going to start with our first $2,000 winning scholarship, and that's going to go to Sam Bruce. If you can come on up. Which one's yours? What we're going to do is we're going to get a picture of you holding your trophy. If you can, if I can have you four of you come up really quick and we'll take a picture and I'll get out of the way. Get in there, coach. Very awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll give you the case. You get to take it all home. So congratulations to Sam. Now time for our other $2,000 winner. And again, always a tough decision, but this year's $2,000 winner also goes to Citlali Martinez. Hold that thing up. It's heavy. Don't drop it. Do you want to come up and grab a picture really quick? Come on, everybody get up. Yeah, coach.
I'm in there. This is the family. What do you mean? Come on, family.
I love it. Awesome. Yay. And of course, then it brings us to our $6,000 winner. And I wish I could have that for everybody, but no doubt, I think it's not often we have unanimous, but you were about as unanimous as it gets in the foundation over our 5 years. So the winner this year of the $6,000 Giovanni Vitrano Scholarship, of course, is Matthias Party. Good. There you go. Grab a picture. Thank you. Come on, everybody, come up here. You got it, kiddo. The Party family. Yeah, congratulations. Again, it's just awesome to see all these smiling faces. I have to thank, as always, in the back, the vice president of our foundation and my best friend in the world, Mike Famey. Give him a round, because without him, all the nuts and bolts would fall through the cracks. And also my daughter, Emily Copeland. She's also a member of our foundation, as is her husband, Ben Copeland, also a member of the Giovanni. Thank you, everybody in the Johnson family, our extended family, always here to help. But it's fun. I love doing this. And encourage, spread word of the foundation to those that are around you. Let them know we're here. And, you know, who knows? Maybe somebody you know that's a year or two down can be here as well in the next couple of years. Keep me informed of everything you do, okay, please, and just do great things out of here. I want to thank all of you for applying and being a part of it again this year. It's truly an honor on my behalf to be able to meet all of you and have you be in my life tonight. So thank you very much. No, by all, clap, come on! Ryan from WCTV is here. He may bug you to talk to you really quick. I don't know who he wants to. He's a man on the move. And then Mike's going to get really quick some interviews and stuff with you guys, okay? But thank you all. I appreciate it. We can hang out and just talk and be loose for a little bit. Oh, you're welcome.